This cop helped a bear family cross the road after receiving a report from a concerned passerby. But when he took a closer look at the cubs, he did something no one would have ever expected. One sunny afternoon, the Carroll Police Department received a call that would change everything in their dear town. The call was regarding an unusual situation in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. The report detailed a black bear that was pacing back and forth on the road, seemingly attempting to guide her 4 young cubs safely across to the other side. While it was not unusual to catch glimpses of a wild animal dashing into the forest, it was almost unheard of for a mother bear to be with her cubs in the middle of a busy highway. Sensing the urgency and importance of the situation, the caller provided the necessary details to the dispatcher, expressing her concerns for the safety of the bear and her vulnerable cubs. The dispatcher promptly relayed the information to Trooper Thomas Owens, who rushed to the scene, not knowing what to expect. Little did he know that an incredible tale was about to unfold before his very own eyes. As he arrived at the scene, Owens stepped out of his patrol car and observed the distressed bear family. The mother was pacing back and forth, visibly anxious, but it was only when the cop looked closely that he noticed that there was a problem. Home. As he observed the family, his heart sank as he noticed one of the cubs lagging behind. Its steps had become slow and labored, and it was clearly struggling to keep up with its siblings and mother. It was apparent that the cub was weak and in need of help. Realizing that the safety of the bear family was of utmost importance, Owen swiftly took control of the scene, using his patrol car to block off the road and prevent any vehicles from approaching. The traffic began to build up as drivers patiently waited, understanding that something extraordinary was unfolding before their eyes. Word spread rapidly, and onlookers started to gather, drawn by the unusual sight of a bear family in the middle of the highway. As the mother bear grew increasingly concerned about her struggling cub, her maternal instincts kicked into overdrive. She nudged the cub gently, hoping to encourage it to resume walking, but the little one's exhaustion was evident. Desperate to assist her baby, she made several attempts to lift it in her mouth and carry it across the road. However, each try ended in failure, as the cub proved too weak to hold on. The sight tugged at the heartstrings of both Trooper Owens and the growing crowd of onlookers. They watched with bated breath, empathizing with the mother bear's desperate attempts to help her little one. As the minutes ticked by, the mother bear's determination to guide her ailing cub wavered, and after a few more minutes of trying and failing, she did something totally unexpected. She nudged the cub one last time, then turned away from it, and reluctantly marched across the road to rejoin her remaining 3 little ones. With the mother bear leaving her struggling cub behind, a sense of concern and worry filled the air. Onlookers exchanged glances, unsure of what would happen next. The policeman, deeply moved by the mother bear's actions, felt a strong sense of responsibility to ensure the well-being of the abandoned cub. So he did something no one would expect from a simple man in front of a family of bears. The poor cub was now alone and vulnerable, and needed immediate help. Without hesitation, Owens made a courageous choice to intervene, despite the potential dangers that lay ahead. Troopers like him were trained to handle wildlife encounters, but he also knew that the fierce protective instincts of mother bears could lead to a dangerous confrontation. He knew that any sudden or threatening movements could escalate the situation and put him in harm's way, especially if the mother bear noticed him approaching her vulnerable baby. And so he dashed and grabbed the cub as fast as he could. With the tiny bear safely cradled in his arms, he wasted no time sprinting towards his patrol car, his heart pounding with a rush of adrenaline. Owens quickly reached his vehicle and gently placed the cub on the passenger seat. He made sure the bear was comfortable before securing it with a makeshift seat belt, ensuring its safety during the journey. With the cub now under his protection, Owens made his way to the New Hampshire Fish and Game, NHFG. This wildlife authority had the necessary expertise and resources to provide the care and rehabilitation the little bear desperately needed. Upon arrival, the cop handed over the cub to the waiting team of wildlife rehabilitators, veterinarians, and biologists. They assessed the cub's condition, carefully examining it for any injuries or signs of distress. The team commended the trooper's effort, and Owens felt a sense of relief to have been able to play a vital role to save the cub. Now the little bear was safe and in good hands, and he could close that chapter. Or so he thought. Contrary to his musings, it seemed like his experience with the bear family was not over yet. The next day, the police got wind of another black cub who was spotted by someone at the side of the road. Unknown to them, the bear had given birth to 5 cubs. This one had fallen behind earlier, as it was even weaker than its sibling, and couldn't keep up with the rest of its family. This information was astonishing itself, as the average number of cubs a bear usually gives birth to is 3. Having 5 cubs at once was very rare, and the higher number could explain the weakness of the last 2. The news of another black bear cub in need of assistance reached the police, spreading a mix of surprise and concern among the officers. Still filled with the memories of the previous day's rescue, Owens understood the critical nature of the new report. He swiftly gathered the necessary equipment and headed to the location where the cub was last seen. Arriving at the scene, he assessed the surroundings, scanning the area for any signs of the cub or the rest of the bear family. With his trained eye, he spotted a small movement among the foliage nearby. As he cautiously approached, he realized the cub was indeed very weak and could not have kept up with its mother and siblings. Determined to help this little one as well, he approached it with the same care he had shown its sibling. He could see that the cub was exhausted and realized it needed immediate assistance to ensure its survival. Understanding the potential risks involved, he promptly contacted the wildlife authorities and informed them of the situation. They quickly arrived at the scene, ready to provide the expertise and support needed to assist the bear family. Working in unison with the wildlife authorities, they helped create a safe and controlled environment to facilitate the cub's rescue. With precision and compassion, Trooper Owens gently scooped up the weak cub, cradling it carefully in his arms. The wildlife authorities remained on standby, prepared to handle any potential challenges that might arise during the rescue. The team stabilized the cub before transporting it to the NHFG Rehab Center, where it would be reunited with its sibling. At least both cubs would have each other and would not be alone anymore. Indeed, everything worked out fine in the end for the bear family. With the dedicated efforts of the police and the New Hampshire Fish and Game, the cubs received the care and support they needed to grow stronger and develop essential survival skills. The 2 weak cubs, rescued by the trooper, were given a second chance at life. In the care of the rescue organization, they received specialized attention, ensuring their well-being and growth. Over time, they gradually regained their strength and vitality, thanks to the dedicated care provided by the wildlife professionals. The mother bear was also spotted again with her 3 cubs. As the cubs grew and became more independent, the New Hampshire Fish and Game carefully assessed their readiness for release. And when the time was right, they made the decision to release the cubs back into their natural habitat so that the bears could live out their lives to the fullest. Trooper Owens vowed to keep an eye on the neighboring woods and make sure that the family would live and prosper in the woods. And all the locals hailed him as a hero for his incredible courage. And that's our story for today. Would you have the courage to grab the weak cub in front of its mother? And would you have done it again for another cub? Tell us in the comments below.